Hi, it's Joy and today I'm going to be watching Motherland, Salem, Season 1, Episode 6, Up is Down. This show is fantastic. It is fast becoming one of my favourites. I really look forward to reacting to it. I cannot wait to see what happens next because the end of the last episode was just devastating on so many different levels. And I cannot wait to see what happens. I'm still very intrigued about where Scylla went. Like, did she manage to run away or did the spree capture her? And while I was editing, it occurred to me that maybe she got arrested because Anacostia was onto her from what Tally had seen. So I don't know. But yeah, these poor girls are already suffering so much and I just need to see what happens next because I have this terrible feeling it's going to get a lot worse before it gets better. If you would like to watch the unedited version of these reactions, they are up on my Patreon. Along with the next 2 episodes, so up to episode 8 is already up on my Patreon, and if you would like to watch the edited version early, that is also up on my Patreon right now, along with episode 7. Also, just a quick note to anyone who loves this show, I mentioned it a few reactions ago, but if you are enjoying this show and you don't already know about Freeform's after show specials on their YouTube channel, they do a little thing each episode where they talk about the events of the episode and it gives you additional info on the characters and the lore and the backstories of the world and everything, and they're really fascinating, so do check those out. But yeah, let's go now. Oh, is this the people that are hidden in the desert? Who's this? Why would you go to your long intro right when I want to find out what on earth that was?
Abigail. Tried to wind strike them off me. Listen.
They have that sound from that rare group of coven of witches.
We can take a break anytime.
I think maybe you should give her some time.
They pushed their knees into my chest and
Sweetheart. This is so... I mean, this is being done so well.
I'm a bellwether.
You are a bellwether, my love, but you can still get comfort, support, and healing.
It matches the profile. Extensive disabling of vocalization through high levels of sonic dampening.
And that's not what they used.
I went up again. She was gone. I can't
oh,
figure
all
out
these
the
poor
exact
girls. Is she gonna tell her?
Because I don't know, Raelle.
Oh, she's lashing out because she feels bad about...
I have to calm down. Are you okay?
No.
Fine, standard procedure.
Oh my goodness.
Once Kalita is well, we won't trouble you any longer.
I think she wants you to
You're
stay.
here for as long as you need. All of Fort Salem is
For as long as I need you.
I have to get in here to check the rest of the vocal apparatus.
What's happening? Was this not actually the spree that did the killing because they had their own plan? The spree were the balloons, but were they not this part? Although the people did say they were the spree, so...
Cut out the voice. Cut the ear open.
Oh my goodness, I don't want to see this. Ugh. Were these hidden witches? Like what? Because the cousin wasn't. Are they specifically targeting the bellwethers? Why? Oh, I need answers. So many answers. This is all so cool.
And Mr. Harry-ass's greatest gift to us, which is
it was flight.
Private Raelle color.
That's what she did with Scylla.
Yes, ma'am.
Why don't you go first?
She did it with Scylla and Scylla's vanished. If any of the up-highs, like Anacostia, ever talked to her about Scylla and where she is and tried to help her through it, because that's what they should be doing. They know she's close, especially Anacostia. That would be such an amazing feeling. I know, my love.
We kill civilians. They hardly ever target their own.
Exactly, and targeting...
This is a disturbing new strategy.
Does she blame Adler, Alder?
Deliberate targeting of my family.
You're acting like I'm crazy. I'm not crazy.
Tell her that she was spree.
Fine. No one
Abigail.
can go through what you did and be fine.
Talk to Tally.
Soldiers do every day.
No, they shouldn't.
Maybe if you stop, thanks.
Oh, that's nice. Acknowledging that Tally is trying to be there for her. God, they're falling apart.
Don't say it again.
Oh, it's better to... I totally understand both sides here. Abigail should have a bodyguard. And you are still at college. I know that, like, some witchery is naturally, and you're a brilliantly talented witch, but... and her mother wants to protect her daughter, even if she treats her abominably a lot of the time.
Talk?
I'm sure she does. Use this woman. Train, learn from her, and get even better.
When the
And
time
that
is right,
will shut them up.
I've been known to say a thing or two. Okay.
Yeah, use her to get ahead by being the best. Oh, my sweetheart. Oh goodness, what on earth is that? Probably not something that you should see if you don't know what it is. Can she not communicate with Scylla through the mark on their hand somehow? Gross. Weird.
Stop. Did you touch that?
Huh. She touched it.
I'm actually here because I'm not.
Oh god, I think with Abigail's personality and the way she's been brought up especially, this would actually be a good way for her to be helped in a weird way. Oh. She's not okay.
I know how to do this.
It's okay to not be okay, my love. You didn't do anything wrong.
I let my guard down.
This is what she needed. Get it out. Oh.
You did the right thing by reporting what you saw, Private. You don't need to concern yourself with anything.
She does
else.
because of her
I need to do
unit.
something. How can you be a sister to her and a liar
Exactly.
at the same time? You are a soldier protecting our nation, Craven. That's all you need to know for it.
I relate to Tally so much with, like, the struggle you would have in keeping that kind of secret.
Is that the debris was gonna trap one of my unit on the other
Oh
side.
god.
There was no way to get to her. No way to save her.
She
We
lost
knew we had to go. I lost my eye on the way out and never got it fixed.
She would have
It
wanted
wasn't
you to
your
get it
fault that she
fixed.
died. Focus on what you can do and not what you can't.
Oh.
Totally. And if you've already done everything you can do, if you're doing your
Tally,
duty,
my love.
then you can just forget the rest and trust that it will all work out. Sure, I mean, yeah. Thank you. Really.
I think truth is the best medicine.
What's she gonna tell her?
What truth? Scylla was killed in the storm.
Oh my god.
I'm so sorry, Raelle.
I don't believe she was killed. Because she's Scylla and she's too important to the show. But is that just what that woman, that witch, has been told? Or is she saying that to try and help Scylla? And he does not want her near this little girl. Ooh, they have the witch language.
We'll remain the final stewards of our songs.
Uh-oh. Yeah.
I'd like to be alone with my sister now.
I wouldn't be surprised if she didn't
I'm glad
infect
you
the
and your
sister
sister are safe.
with whatever this is. Ooh, and they all grieve together.
Scylla's dead.
What?
Oh,
What?
Who told you that?
it's not
Your
true.
Negro teacher. We were supposed to go to the beach.
Of course, she's blaming herself. Oh god, Raelle, this show.
Okay. Go to save us, please.
I'm glad they're all there for each other. Is Abigail having a nightmare? Oh, my loves.
Abigail,
Oh
wake
my.
up.
I love them so much.
Blood cramp. Everyone's overreacting.
Talk to your sisters. Oh, Abigail. Is there a message? So Raelle's gonna look for her now, and they haven't told her she's free, so Raelle doesn't know to think that she's a danger. Stress. I mean, Scylla might. She didn't take Raelle to the beach, so I'm not like demonizing Scylla particularly, but.
I've never felt less powerful than I am right now.
Oh, this is so important though that you talk to your
I've never
unit.
been this way. Grief's stubborn, Abigail. And wild.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna be okay.
You have sisters that are here for you, that would die for you. Oh, she's gone to the infirmary, hasn't she? Oh, that's good. Does she know him?
Are not supposed to be in here.
They had a weird connection just then, right? my god, he's not even there. She imagined him. Can they not see him? Is he invisible? What is happening? Oh, is that what the thingamajig does? So they make them invisible?
Just check.
Is that how Raelle saw Scylla? Because she had that vision in which she saw Scylla. She thinks if she uses Salvia again and again and again, she'll see her.
Where's Raelle?
Oh. This is heartbreaking, especially because Scylla, I do believe that there was truth in her feelings for Raelle, but she was using her in so many ways. Oh, my love. She's trying to get to the lighthouse or just fly?
Find and save her. She's on an impossible mission, and she is alone right now.
She needs her sisters. Oh, I love them so much. I love this show so much. Oh, they love her so much. Oh. Oh my god. I love them so much. Was that a special collar? Yep.
How did you plan the wedding attack?
It was while I was editing it occurred to me that she might have been arrested. I'm still not entirely convinced that the Spree were behind the attack on 17 people, 17 bellwethers. She turned against the Spree by not taking Raelle to them, but it's not going to do her any favours here.
Hello, Scylla.
See, I prefer Scylla in this arrangement, and I think she's a mass murderer, but I do believe Scylla has goodness in her, and Adler Alder I don't trust. Every episode of this show that I watch, I fall more and more in love with it. It's just, I'm speechless with how good this show is. Like, when I first heard about it, I was really intrigued, but seeing the promo posters, I was kind of like, I don't know, that looks a bit odd, I don't know if I'm going to like it, and I gave it a go because I put it on my poll, it came joint second, I watched it, and I'm so glad I did. Like, this show is so good. I'm so glad I'm reacting to it. I want to try and get everyone I know to watch it. Just, I love the fact that at the core of this show, it is a sisterhood. It is the bond between women and women propping each other up, women being there for each other. And yeah, you have your rivalries and your disagreements because not everyone's going to love each other. And in no way does this show downgrade men. It just is about women, which, oh my god, how many years have we had it being the opposite way around? But just the fact that we've reached this point now where Abigail and Raelle are sisters, and sisters can fight and disagree. Sisters do not have to get on 100%. That we've got to this point already, and that's what I was hoping we would do. And just seeing the bond of love that those three girls have for each other already, this show is going to go magical. It's going to go to magical places. It's going to be so magical. I love it so much. It deserves all the praise and all the awareness, and everyone should watch this show. And, you know, it's season 1, episode 6. Okay, we're 6 episodes in, and already they've taken these characters, stretched them to their limits, taken them to extremes. You know, we've kind of, in a way, seen all of these characters at their limits already. Abigail, totally, you know, she's been raised to be a bellwether. Bellwethers are tough. Bellwethers are the best. Bellwethers never get bested. And not only did she come across seeing her cousin, who she loved like a sister, dead, but then she had to fight, and because it wasn't with her magic, because there were 2 of them compared to her, which again, those odds were terrible, she lost that fight until her mum came in, and even then it was brutal. She was stabbed. It was a fight for her life for the first time ever, and she almost lost. And that feeling of helplessness, of terror, of helplessness because she wasn't there, because she couldn't save her cousin, because her cousin was dead, or feeling like she should have done something, the feeling that when there was that fight she was losing, if her mother hadn't come in, if that spree attack hadn't happened outside, she'd be dead because they would have killed her, is just gut-wrenchingly heartbreaking. That I guess Abigail would have been the 18th bellwether of childbearing age to try and wipe out the line. My god. Now the fact that they learned to be a spree and killed themselves does seem very spree-like, but there is still a small part of me that suspects Alder. I can never remember if she's Alder or Adler, so I'm really sorry. I change my mind every other second. But just because she's kind of gone up a little bit toe-to-toe with Abigail's mother, and so if she hates the bellwethers, maybe she wants to make sure they're gone, though probably the best course of action would be to just get rid of Abigail's mother rather than all of them. So it probably is the spree, but I do feel like there's more to this than what we've seen, especially as they're saying that, you know, the spree normally target civilians, they don't normally target witches. I suppose because the spree's mission is to stop witches being forced to go to, from what I understand, to stop witches being conscripted and forced to go to war and forced to die. So they wouldn't want to just kill witches, especially not witches that weren't in the army. So maybe it wasn't the spree, maybe it was, maybe this is more to the spree than we think. So there's just such stuff there that I know we're only halfway through the season. I know that we still have 4 episodes left, but I just want to know everything already. But for Abigail, just she's gone from being the super confident, I'm the best, to last episode she had the sort of the struggles of realising that she was going to achieve greatness regardless of whether she was great, that her name was going to get her through to War College, her name would probably get her unit a really great position, and it doesn't actually matter if she does well. Now I truly believe that Abigail will always want to be the best she can be. She will want to earn it. Despite the fact that she's got a bell with a name, she'll want to earn that position as well. So I do think that that is going to be something we'll see. But she was already trying to go through that and having the absolute trauma on top. My heart breaks for her. But what I love is that, sure, she's going to hate having a babysitter, a bodyguard in principle, but having another person there to defend you, there's nothing wrong with that. And I love that she's already kind of using, this is an amazing, fearsome warrior. This woman has lived the life they're training for. And so I think that will be a really brilliant source of extra training and help. But the fact that it was fighting and fighting that helped Abigail break down that barrier was so important, but just so heartbreaking. Her thinking she failed her cousin because she didn't. And then, you know, her nightmare, because of course she's going to have nightmares. They should have therapists on base. I'm sorry, they really need to have therapists on base. And everyone that was at that wedding should be in therapy. Like, you know, just to recover from it. And kind of she had to push them all away. But then the next day she was able to talk to them about how she felt, about how helpless she felt, and really connect with each other. And even when she was pushing away Tally's help, pushing away Tally's attempts, that she still thanked her for trying, you know, acknowledging that, but she just couldn't deal with it. And it's so important to me. Then we have Tally, who is, you know, sort of been pushed to her limit in the sense that, I mean, yeah, the heartbreak aside, I feel like in a way this is really good because it's distracted her from the potential heartbreak. But she has been, since episode 1, the most enthusiastic about the military, about what it means to be in the military, about the sisterhood, about the code, about being there for each other. She has been the one that's been desperate for her unit to become a sisterhood. She's been desperate for those two to be friends, the peacemaker, the one in the middle, and suddenly she is faced with having this piece of information that will upturn Raelle's world and her view of her world, change the way she's grieving and what she's feeling. But she's been ordered by the military that she holds in such respect to keep that from her. And, you know, Anacostia hasn't even been like, oh, and it'll be better for her if she doesn't know, or try to spin it in some kind of a way where it's like, oh, it's in Raelle's best interest that you don't tell her. She's just been very demanding. So the Tally, who is a huge team player, she's such a generous, giving soul. Keeping that kind of secret from someone goes against her very nature. And we saw that with how she got a bit snappy at times. We saw that with how she just wasn't able to cope. But at the moment, she's reached a place through Glory's help. I mean, poor Glory was trying to get some advice of herself, but anyway, if you're not a main character, life's hard. But Tally's reached the point of thinking that if you trust in the military and believe in the military, and the military tell you this is for the greater good, then this will help your sister in the long run. And she's kind of found a way to be okay with it. But I definitely think that the more she sees Raelle struggle, the harder she'll find that. Then, of course, Raelle, who is dealing with the terror of that attack, but losing Scylla, thinking she might be dead, and wanting that desperate, hopeful belief that she isn't. I mean, she did send her that S in the night, through the way they said they'd contact. That did happen. And, you know, Scylla no one can quite explain how she got swept up in the storm. Now, I think it's really interesting that the necro teacher was like, oh my god, she's coming here. And like, she did touch that wall. So is that kind of like, she touched it, it was on her finger. Surely something's going to come with that. The fact that she touched it, it was on her. And then the woman assumed she hadn't touched it, so she didn't tell her what. Like, that does still stress me out, to be honest. But, and like Abigail saying she looks sick, maybe it's more than just the grief. Maybe that wall is doing something to her. I'm stressed. But I think it's definitely interesting that Anacostia's method was just to be like, oh, we're looking, oh, we're looking, oh, we're looking. And the necro person was like, okay, she's just breaking in here to tell her that she's dead, when really she's just downstairs. They thought in a dungeon somewhere they've kidnapped her, they've arrested her. Sort of kidnapped, but, you know, legally speaking. To tell her she's dead, which in a way would stop Raelle looking. It will stop Raelle seeking answers. If she's told, oh, she's dead, it was the spree, done. Now, the dangerous aspect there is if Scylla were to escape. Now, I know they're fairly confident she won't, but say Scylla did escape them, and down, she would straight away go to Raelle, recruit Raelle to help her, and Raelle would be completely vulnerable to that because she wouldn't know she was spree. So if she said, oh, I'm totally innocent and they were really mean to me, Raelle would protect her and help her. So I do think that is a dangerous thing, especially making Tally lie as well, when the whole unit and the sisterhood is supposed to be all that's important. But what I absolutely adore is that we saw that despite everything that they're going through, all of these troubles, the traumas, the little spats they're going to have, this sisterhood is unbreakable, that is there. They would do anything for each other. And as much as it hurts to see Abigail and Raelle in particular at such a low point right now, they're all there for each other. And, you know, Abigail was able to push through her own pain to be there for Raelle. Raelle was able to try and pass on some of what she'd learnt about grief to try and help Abigail. Like, this bond is everything to me, and I'm in awe of how much I love this show. So then, rounding it all off with the ending of the episode with, oh, that's what before I say, I love Birdie. I believe her name is Bridie, not Birdie. Birdie's a singer. Bridie, I think is her name. She's amazing. Such a strong character that I hope kind of sticks around for a little while, and that our girls can learn from her, and that maybe we'll shop apart throughout the show. But hearing her story was really heartbreaking, and the fact that she's chosen to keep herself without one eye. Now, you know, if you get a disability, there's nothing wrong with that. But I hate for her the fact that she's viewed this loss of her sister as being something that she did, that she deserves to have a permanent reminder of it, when that's the last thing her sister would have wanted. She made a genuine error, and her sister would never have wanted this to happen to her. And it really mirrors Abigail thinking that if she just stayed with her cousin, if she'd been there when she put on the dress, everything would have been fine, rather than letting her have a bath and going off to be with her unit. Similarly to Raelle thinking that if I'd just gone to the beach like Scylla kept asking me to, Scylla would have been at the beach and she would have been safe. Though it just, this sisterhood is everything, and it potentially maybe even kind of can relate to Tally, not that Tally or Raelle know this story, in the sense that if something goes wrong with Raelle and Scylla, something that disrupts the unit or Raelle's life, if she'd just done that thing, if she'd just told her the truth, maybe it all would have been different. But in finishing my rambling with Scylla, now Scylla is still a fascinating character to me. After last episode, where she didn't take Raelle down to the beach, where she didn't hand Raelle over to the spree, where she trusted that Raelle, like, she didn't hand Raelle over to the spree. It's so important to me, because even if she truly believed the spree were going to be nice to Raelle, you can't prove it. And if Raelle was against the spree killed her mother, she's angry at the military for that, but the spree were the ones that she was fighting against. I mean, who knows what would happen if Raelle were to go to the spree. She's not someone in the same position as Scylla, who was angry just at the military for killing her family. But the fact that Scylla chose to put Raelle first was a huge step forward for me. Now again, I still have reservations about their relationship just because it's built on lies, it's built on manipulation. I truly do believe that Scylla did fall for Raelle, that Scylla's feelings for Raelle are true, and that if going forward from this point, if she has the chance, admittedly, she doesn't look like she has a chance right now, but say she gets free and has the chance, if she were to be honest and truthful with Raelle, more or less completely truthful going forwards, I would believe in their relationship and kind of be able to see past the manipulation and the lies, especially if you kind of see it as Raelle was able to show Scylla how she had been manipulated and lied to by the spree, because I truly do believe that they recruited a very vulnerable girl. I'm still iffy over the fact that, because it just was Scylla the one that massacred all those people in the mall in the opening of the series, because she made herself look like that ginger, I think it was ginger, but the girl, like, that we saw again, but then Scylla's face like this was what Parker, or whatever his name was, knew, so that implies this is Scylla's face. Was that Scylla at the beginning, was that just another spree person? Is Scylla a mass murderer, or is she just an aspiring mass murderer? But regardless, I think Scylla was a vulnerable young girl who, I don't agree with conscription in the real world, so I don't agree with conscription in this world. I would like it if it was a really, I do believe that the overall vibe or environment of this military organisation is caring, it is a sisterhood. There are people like older Adler who I do not trust and do not think should be in power. There are people like Abigail's mother who are a little bit more controlling, or like, oh, I know right, I know what's best. But while you're in the military, it can be a brilliant experience, but no one should be forced into it. I also don't think becoming terrorists is the way to stop it. But Scylla was definitely someone that was wronged by this military establishment, wronged by Alder Adler and her organisation by killing her parents because they didn't want to fight. That is wrong. So she was in the position, the perfect person to be brainwashed, to be swayed into this organisation. But I do think there is hope for her, but the situation she's in right now is a very sticky one, as no one knows she's here who might help her. The Spree are going to be very angry with her because she did not take Raelle down to the beach. And it's very clear that she just didn't do it, rather than like, maybe the Spree will assume if there were no other Spree that were hanging around the party, might think she got caught beforehand, but right now they'll probably just think she's on the run. So they're probably not going to come to help her, and if they do, that will cause a huge fight on the campus. But she's a member of the Spree, and I don't know that she can just say, oh, sorry General, I'm on your side now, would work. So I do wonder what the future's going to hold for Scylla. As a character, I think she's too pivotal to this show to like be written out in season 1. Maybe I'm wrong, but I am very intrigued about where she's going to go going forward. But I'm at this point, since last episode, I have much more hope for her and her relationship with Raelle than I did beforehand. And one last thing I just thought that I want to talk about is the brother and his sister. So the sister had some kind of terrible magical illness type thing. And I love this concept that witches used to exist in the world. They used to be in small covens or groups. And that their magic was secret, it was sacred, it was used for peace and goodness. And obviously, men, but other people saw that group, were threatened by them because they were insecure about themselves and attacked and made the witch trials, and so she released the magic, which I imagine even at the time a lot of witches would have thought was wrong. And then she's built this world into which witches are at the top of this chain, but it is also quite constricting on the witches. As I've said, that conscription is not good, and kind of that huge distinction between we are witches and you're just normal people, again, isn't healthy or good. So I think I have lots of issues with Alder, as I have mentioned in the past. I don't think she should be the single head of America's witches and kind of the assumed head of the world's witches. That should not be how it works. And so the fact that there is one little, well, I imagine there's more than one group out there, but this group that has extra special magic that they're trying to keep to themselves, I would not put it past Alder Adler to have been the one to infect that child. And I would not put it past her to have her try and mess something, or try and keep them here, try and coerce them into giving up their information. I think she would definitely like that special sound, and especially if it's seen. And so what initially I would have thought, if the Spree were the ones that killed Abigail's cousin, then it seems as though they have got that disabling sound seed, because Abigail's mother didn't recognise it as one that was pre-known. But at the same time, we know for a fact that Alder and the council have that sound, that seed, a recording of it that could have been used in that device they had that was playing it. So were they not really Spree? Were they just ordinary people who were good fighters, who had been recruited, maybe even they were told it was the Spree? I could so see it being Alder or someone like that trying to stamp out the Bellwether line for some reason, rather than that having been the Spree, just because we know that she and the council have access to that technology. But we will see where that goes. But I keep my eye on Alder, let's put it that way. There's a chance she's more than just a corrupt government leader and potentially doing a lot of more dodgy stuff as well. But yeah, this show is so deep already. Like, we're on season 6 and I'm just blown away by how fast this show's moved, how much we've learned, how much has changed since the beginning, and just how deep this show is, and I'm in love with it. So yes, if you would like to watch the unedited version of this reaction, it's up on my Patreon along with episodes 7 and 8, and if you would like to watch the episode 7 edited reaction early, that is also up on my Patreon if you'd like to check that out. So yeah, thank you so much for watching.